Okay, welcome everybody. Today's lesson is, well, it's not really a lesson, it's a question and answer session. I get a lot of questions, and if I see repeated questions, I might as well just make a video and push it out to everybody to make it a lot easier for me to answer. So there are three different ways of asking me questions. The first one, you can put comments on the YouTube video, and I will try to answer them that way. The second is through your university's email address. You can email me directly or message me in the forums at any of the universities that I teach at. Those are the three different ways of asking me questions. If I see repeated questions like I did today or this week, then I'll push out content via video. A lot easier. I think it's a lot better. You can see my smiling personality and you can hear my voice, which is kind of fun if you're in the online world and you never get to see your teacher. Well, sometimes you don't want to see your teacher. But let's get started. All right, so the first question, actually I have several questions from a person named John. Now, it's actually different Johns from different universities. It just happened to be, everybody is asking me questions that are named John. So the first question from John is, what is the number one thing that I can do to be successful as a student? Now, there are, you can ask me questions about anything and I'll answer them. If you're my student, you know that I'm probably one of the most open, honest, and transparent professors that you will get. And I will give you the most open, honest, and transparent answers as I possibly can without getting myself in trouble. So I am very, I'll give you the information that you need, and sometimes the information that you don't want to hear, but I'll give it to you straight. And that's who I am. Now, a little bit of about me, if you're just joining me or if you don't know my background, is I teach English courses, English writing, professional writing courses, paralegal writing courses, so legal research and writing courses. I also teach government classes, law classes, and justice studies classes, as well as a handful of technology classes in the police and government field. That's my little realm of expertise. If you're asking me a question about biology, I'm sorry I can't answer it unless it's somehow related to writing or something along those lines. Okay, so the first question from John is, how can I be successful as a student? Well, the very first thing to be successful, and this I could have a whole video on just this question, is you have to be willing to learn, right? You have to have an open mind, you have to have an open heart, and you have to be actually willing to learn. A lot of students will go to class and they have this closed mind, or hey, I'm just going to do the work and just get the work done and then get done with class. That's one approach. You're not going to get what you want out of the class if you approach it that way. The second thing is actually being interactive with the professor. Guys, you guys are paying for school. Ask questions. Why are you guys not asking questions? If you have a question, ask. That's why your professor is there for you. Now, a little caveat with that is don't ask too many questions, because that will just make your professor a little bit upset because you're wasting his time with a slew of questions. So follow your professor's rules, kind of bug him during his office hours, and just be more interactive. That's the number one thing. Okay, another question from John at a different university is, what's the number one thing that I can do to improve my writing? Well, the number one thing that you can do to improve your writing is actually write. Practice writing. I am flabbergasted that a lot of the students that I get, the only writing that they've ever done are academic style essays. A lot of the universities are switching, so they're doing more academic style and professional style writing assignments, because academics and professional writing are not the same. There's different requirements for both, but you have to write. You also have to take on the feedback that your professor is giving you. So you need to read the professor's feedback and then apply those changes to your paper. I promise you, if you apply those changes little by little, by maybe 6 months down the road, your writing is going to be so much better. You just have to apply the feedback. Now, if your professor is not giving you adequate feedback, or if he says, or he or she says, great job on your paper, and then gives you an 85%, well, ask for feedback. right? If that's inadequate feedback because you don't know as a student what to change, and you want to know what to change so you can get a better grade. And then that brings me to the next point: is be proactive about your grades and be proactive about your class. Ask questions about your grade. Ask how you can improve. Really show your professor that you're there to learn, not just that you're there. Okay, next question, last one from another student named John, is what is the #1 book that I can buy to make me a better writer? Well, there's no book that can make you be a better writer, but there's a lot of books that can help you become a better writer. The #1 book I believe that you guys should master, everybody should master first. No matter if you're in the academic world or if you're in the professional world, you need to master this one book, and you've probably heard me say it a bazillion times. And I'll put it here right up here. It's Strunk & White's Elements of Style, right? You have to master these elements to be able to be a good writer, in my opinion. Now, once you master Strunk & White's suggestions, now you can learn to break them and then be more creative and learn to write a lot better. But you have to be able to master those first, and then once you master them, you can go on to bigger and better things. Take one. I would recommend read. It's a very short book. I actually give these out a lot. I order about 20 of them a year, and I hand them out to as many people as I can because they're only a couple bucks for the book. Learn it, keep it with you, master one topic at a time. I have another video on just that book. Master a topic, and then go on to the next, go on to the next, go on to the next. Once you get that, which will take you a couple classes, you still have a lot more classes, right, than just 2. Then the second thing I recommend doing is reading Helen Sword's Stylish Academic Writing. It is an amazing book. It teaches you how to combine a little bit of flair into your writing while remaining academic and professional. So I use Helen Sword's book all the time, and that is what I recommend. Okay, this one is from Jacqueline. Jacqueline writes, I write a lot better than my classmate. Way to be humble, Jacqueline. I write a lot better than my classmate, but yet my classmate is getting better grades than I am on the same exact essay. What am I doing wrong? Well, that's hard for me because I don't have your classmate's essay. She actually sent me in an essay to kind of just give me a kind of a look, right, on what her essay looks like. I don't know what the other student's essay looks like, but it probably looks a lot better than yours, Jacqueline. The reason why is because professors look at the aesthetic nature of your document, right? Professionals do the exact same thing. How easy is it to read? Do I want to read it? Do I want to read it, and what's actually there? I look at all that stuff before I even start reading it. I can tell you, so Jacqueline has huge, massive paragraphs, big paragraphs. That's kind of a pain. So in my classes, I teach you how to split paragraphs and make them a lot shorter to make it more aesthetically pleasing with white space and all sorts of fun stuff on the side to make it so your professor can read. I also recommend headings in professional writing and in academic writing. But more importantly, I saw something that popped right out at me, and it's the use of in-text citations. Jacqueline, you're doing your in-text citations. Completely incorrect. An in-text citation is not just putting the URL down in brackets, right? It's the last name of the author, the year, and then the page number. That's what you want to put in your in-text citation. Your reference page was good. But your in-text citations were horrible. And that is probably why you are getting the grades that you're getting. So shorten your paragraphs. You can use headings. If your professor allows it, I always encourage it. Headings rock. And then fix your in-text citations. Okay, your question is about style guides. The simple question is, how many style guides are there? I have no idea. There's a lot of them. I thought there was only APA, MLA, Chicago, and a few other ones, but no, there's thousands because every country, almost every large company has their own. I have a whole bookshelf up here of just style guides, and it's only a small fraction. I have it online. I have probably around 1,000 different ones that I have, depending on the company that I'm working with. So, her second part of the question is, which one should I learn first? Well, it's whatever your school requires, right? That's the one that you should learn. For mostly everybody, it's going to be APA over MLA. But ask. There's some classes that I teach, the upper division classes, that we actually get into Chicago formatting, and that's what I prefer. But it's all based around APA, guys. If you learn how to write and understand APA formatting, then you could pretty much do any type of formatting if you just understand APA. Start with APA and then branch out. My legal classes is different. That's Blue Book citation. So it's Blue Book legal citations, which are different. But once again, the foundation, the fundamentals are all based on APA. So learn APA first, master APA, and then move on. I think high school, you guys learn MLA. MLA is very, very basic. So MLA, and then you switch over to APA, and then APA, everything else kind of branches out. So do that. So here's my short question and answers. Those are very common questions that I get. And if you ever need any help from whatever university, if you're not one of my students, feel free to comment in the comments below. If not, if you are my student, message me in the forums or send me an email directly, and I'm more than willing to put out these videos whenever we can. So once again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. You guys are paying, and you guys are paying a lot of money for college. Get the most out of it by asking those questions. Take care and have a great week.